Hello, my friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family. So, guys, we're just going to do a quick video. We found a place right here that is just so peaceful. And I noticed my ears aren't ringing the same as they usually are. As you see the mountain goat, Sassy, right there. This dog is incredible. She gets up on like the highest places, climbs like a mountain goat. And so this location just felt so tranquil, so peaceful. And we're in the middle of a kind of a valley, a gully, really. Um, you can see we have nice sized cliffs behind us, blocking out the wind. And, while it was fairly windy, not horribly windy today, when you're in some place like this, it affords natural protection. And I was thinking, here you go, you got your first beam laid for your home, talking survival situations, with we don't know what's going to happen. We might have a place totally set up, might be growing stuff, and all of a sudden we got to go. We got to go, we got to go, we got to go. There's been so many people made refugees around the world right now. I was just saying to Cindy, I think we should cover topics like survival type of topics too.
Yeah, I think it's important to know simple things like how to start a fire if it's a little bit wet. What materials do you need to gather? What kind of environment is best to kindle a fire and get it going? Maybe even just for fun, practice at home.
Yeah, I mean, for the last 5, 6 years at least, it's been a steady diet of increasing my time out in the woods or out in nature, wherever I've been. And, camping and things like that, I feel like instinctively I've been preparing myself more and more. As a kid, I used to go camping, but then, as an adult, few and far between, maybe I went like 6 times between, my early 20s into, my mid 40s, where I'd always loved getting out in the woods as a kid. And I had an uncle that was like a Boy Scout leader, troop leader. So it was kind of cool because he was always like, hey, you want to go to the mountains? Let's go to Vermont. Let's go to New Hampshire, that type of thing. Sure, you know. But, we get caught up in life and think about it. Think about, especially those that are living in an urban setting. How are your survival skills? Do you have any survival skills?
That's right. We do get caught up in life and we have to work all these hours every day and we have to feed the kids and clean the house. And we don't always have time to set aside to learn things like how about filtering water, or what if it's only snow that you have and you have to melt that? Things that might be really, really useful in a grid down situation.
And again, I know and have some friends that have amazing properties, farms and everything, like Scott, Massachusetts has a gorgeous place and so many fruit trees. He could probably feed 100 people from what
Hmm.
he does. And then our good friend Jack has a farm in North Carolina as well. He's all good to go and beautifully situated. But what happens if something happens, natural disaster, geopolitical, or otherwise, and you got to get up and go?
Hmm.
Then what? Yeah, then what? Yeah, it's a big then what, but it's an important one. Again, honing skills. We used to, and I kind of got away from it because I was going to start doing whole videos on it, and then just got caught up in everything else. But I always used to try to give survival tips at the end of the Earth Change ones. And we'll go back to talking more about survival tips. I think it's really important because we don't know when we're going to have to get up and go. And, I remember doing the stats like a year ago on the number of refugees, and it increased tremendously, like from 2018 to 2019.
Hmm.
Oh man, how about this year? How
Hmm.
about this year with everything we've seen? I bet you it's gone through the roof.
Well, yeah, and a lot of times in certain situations, you don't even think to you don't even know really what are you going to need, what is going to become a priority. So it's really good to at least explore the topics, explore things. So if something might be applicable in your life, you can say, hey, wow, cool, this would help me, I could learn more about this, and then later on it'll work, it'll help you.
Yeah, knowing your environment, and getting out in it and experimenting and exploring with it. When we first got the camper too, we wanted to test ourselves, so we were sleeping out in the camper and trying to do it and seeing if we could make it. When it got down to like high 20s, and we could. We know it takes about 6 blankets. But you're fine. So again, there's so many things from like Cindy was saying, water purification, learning how to build a fire, learning how to build some sort of structure. Now, this area, I would go all around it, make sure there's not any rocks that are going to fall on us because there's some big boulders that come down here. But here, you're protected from the weather and the elements. So you only have really one open way to come in. And honestly, there's tons of wood down all around here. It wouldn't take much with all the pine straw too to make something that would keep you relatively dry and warm. And then you would be covering your bases, so to speak. I think it's really good to get out there and to test yourself a little.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
And if you have kids, bring them too. Make a family day of it. It can be fun. It doesn't have to be super serious. A lot of times when we're just playing, that's when we learn the most. And because we're open and we have that expansive energy. So get curious and creative. Pull the kids in because kids think of the most awesome things.
Yeah, there's so many ways you could pull together a rudimentary structure to, keep you safe against the elements. And when I think one of the more inspiring things I've seen are some of the earth houses up at Taos. Because they utilize like a south-facing window, and to get the light in there, and then tires. So you're recycling and making some use of the tires. It's amazing how warm you can keep yourself. Like we have a cabin we've been staying in often as we've been bouncing around, and then we'll come back to this one cabin. Um, and it's earthen, and it's set down about 2 feet into the ground, and it's adobe. It's a small place, all wood beam and adobe. And it's amazing because the nights we've gone down to like single digits, and we've only like had to run a little portable space heater for maybe 2, 3, 4 hours, and the place is fine. And when it's in the 20s, we don't need anything. We don't need to put any heat on. It stays warm even when it gets into the 20s overnight with daytime highs in the 30s or 40s.
I know it's amazing because if you compare that with, say, an insulated trailer, the trailer doesn't stand a chance without heat. It's so different.
Yeah, exactly. And so we were going to touch more on survival techniques as well, get more into that. And hopefully, when we get situated in one spot, we'll do more like even cooking videos and things like that. We've done a few in the past. Cooking is definitely a passion of mine, and we'll expand on that as well. And if everybody hasn't subscribed, because there's new people coming into the first channel, Evolutionary Energy Arts, please subscribe over there. Because they were going to focus on best places until we get our piece of land. And then we'll be doing best places plus, safe zones, things like that, as well as probably some survival over there and definitely homesteading and off-grid living.
It's going to be a lot of fun, so please double check that bell, and hopefully we'll see you on both channels.
As always, guys, stay prepared. God bless and namaste.
Namaste.